everything fell out and dropped. I don't know if that's anything to do with your nutrient line, but something just happened. So right now, because I hate to speak without knowing, but how many shops are you guys in? Because I've always said hundreds. You guys are in hundreds. I'm not lying.
Across the country?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be like, no, dude, we're in
we're definitely not Coca.
I've said hundreds.
We're definitely not Coca-Cola. We're not in every corner shop. And if people want to get a hold of us, you can definitely connect with 58 Media on Instagram, and we can put you with some people that are in the area.
Oh, you got to spell 58.
That's right. It's like P-Hive.
It's P-Hive.
That's what we get that a lot.
P-Hive.
It's P-H-I-V-E, the number 8, 58. So 58 Media on Instagram. You can definitely connect with our media director. He'll put you in the right directions. And we're in a lot of places across the country. I mean, literally everywhere from Maine to California, Colorado, Florida, Michigan, Oregon. I mean, we've got some great coverage. But we'd love some more. That's for sure. So anybody that's interested.
Right. And what states did you guys have to get certified in every single state, or how's that?
We are definitely certified in every state that we're operating in. We're not certified in all 50 states because, as we all know, I mean, do you need to really be certified in Iowa right now?
Oklahoma.
Probably not.
Wyoming's a home run.
Wyoming, watch out for Wyoming. They're coming on strong.
Is there any differences between them, or are they just because they all want money?
Everybody just wants money.
Okay. There's ones
that are stricter. California and Oregon are much harder.
Cali and Oregon are almost impossible.
Yeah, those are. Vermont is very, very difficult as well.
Yeah. And so you guys did pass in Cali and in Oregon?
Yes.
Yeah. That's good. So that shows that the product.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We've been around for a long time. These things have been registered a long time.
Now, after it goes, when it's in the shops there, then you guys walk around with syringes and put PGRs on everything and go.
Yeah, that's right. We do it after.
You're the magic PGR guys at night.
You called the trick out, man.
Damn it!
I knew it. I already knew that's how everyone rolls. They're just like, whatever, bro. Just get it on the shelves. My fairy dust.
Well, I'll get the fairy dust in later. Yeah.
It's not a PGR you can just go get, man. It's one Neil made himself, dude.
Right? Oh, good.
No, he's definitely. I mean, Neil knows what he's doing in some interesting stuff as far as just the ratios and the chelation technology, et cetera. I mean, it's definitely. I mean, again, just going back to whether it's cutting edge as you mentioned, or a lot of these other brands. I mean, we see this consistently, and I can say that on a personal level, I saw it, the difference as well. I would say that nutrients on the level of hierarchy are number 5 on the list. Mm-hmm. So if you don't have the other shit in line, your environment, your genetics, you as a grower, you'll never see the difference in nutrients anyway.
Right.
If you have those in line, you will definitely see.
Well, it's the same as CO2. It's like when people tell me like they're gonna get right out of the gate, they're gonna have CO2.
Boom.
I'm like, well, you have nothing to gauge that on. So how are you gonna know if you're doing good or bad? I said I'd probably just do one run without, and then put the CO2 in, and then put it at a certain level, and then boost it up on the third. So when you're actually on the third grow, because that's always when they start to do good. Like third,
third, fourth, fifth grow. That's when we should talk anyway.
Third and fourth, you start to hit your stride, and you're all, hey, now I know. Because if first one you can do really good, just because everything's fresh and clean and sterile, and it all worked, and then you could just the second one's always you got a little bit of money. You're
good on the first one.
Partied a little bit harder, and then sometimes
I can wait to water till
sometimes
tomorrow.
on the third one, it's either a complete and utter fuck up, and then you're done. That's it. End of story. Don't ever try it again.
Or you realize your fuck ups in number 2 and you come back.
Or you're on point and you're like, you know what? I don't need to go to that festy. I'm good. And then you stayed home and then the shit worked out. Or you did the festy and your new roommate ripped you off, or so I don't know what happened, dude. All the buds fell off the top ones and whatever. There's a million stories of people just not knowing what the fuck they're doing. And so I think if you can get past the third one and actually then add full bore, because the thing is, what always happens is people put CO2 and then their plants go yellow and they're like, dude, everything died. You're like, what? Because you have to feed them more.
Yeah, they're raging.
And they're like, they're starving, and you're just like, you're feeding them the same, and they're just getting yellower and yellower. It's like, and then if you try to feed them too much, now you burned them all, because now they're all weak, and it's roller coaster, exactly.
I definitely agree, though, man. I've said for years that there's always going to be, limiting factors in gardening, and the CO2 thing should be the very last limiting factor in the garden.
You better fix everything else.
Everything else is so dialed to where CO2 is going to be beneficial. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
And typically, you're not even going to see the benefit anyway. And at the end of the day, everybody wants to run to 15, 1600, whatever. I'll tell you right now, look in the scientific literature, and they're going to tell you a C3 plant doesn't go higher than about 800 ppm. Yeah. So if you could get good mixing and put it at about 800 to 1,000, plenty.
Right.
And it's a passive process. They're not sucking the shit in.
Yeah, I know. I've seen plenty of people running much higher than that, and the plants are alive, but I don't think they're, and they're green as hell, obviously, and they're burning, crisping, or whatever. But I think the key is to always run it up to the point where you see a little bit of this, then you bump it back, everybody's good, and then you'll find that you can even go less.
Sure.
Because almost everybody's running more than they need, thinking they're gonna, because everyone's got the baking syndrome, where you're just like, dude, if I could cook it at this, but if I cooked it like there, and they think you can just push it a little harder, but it's like, that's why everything's crispy, and then someone actually does a good job, and you're like, dude, what'd you do? You're like, fuck, I just didn't do as much as I
just
normally
backed
would
it
do.
off a little.
Yeah.
No, that's the thing. I mean, and this stuff isn't, it's not going to read off the charts. I don't feed it above about 2.2 EC, which is about 1100 ppm on the 500 scale, just to be clear. So, it's one of those things that it's very, very available. You don't have to run it stupid hot. So, it does very, very well for us. And again, any grower that's out there, people that are interested, people that want to try it out, we'd love to connect with you. We'd love to put it in your hands. The proof is definitely in the pudding. If anybody happens to be in the Portland area, I will be out there next week at Bloom Garden Supply on Thursday doing a little lecture series on basics of plant nutrition, including information on New Millennium and Playground. A little shout out there.
We'll clip that later. I'll be like, all right, that's good. We're done with that.
We're done with that. So anyway, we're trying to get out as much as we can. I mean, we're a small company in a big world, and you know how big these brands have gotten. It's definitely not easy, but we're making waves.
Yeah, no, it's a hard game because it's one of those things where, plenty of people are making a shitload of money with it, and they definitely don't necessarily want everyone jumping on board. But the good thing is that you got big players in the background, which is awesome.
Yep, we've got great people behind us. We've got a great chemist behind us.
Yeah.
And the shit works. I mean, it's fortunately we're not selling snake oil, so we're not trying to make a sale and run away. The shit works. You know.
We got a question on there, which is interesting.
All right.
About all the failures at the Chalice because of neem cake. Everybody uses neem cake up in NorCal. And apparently everything that ran with that seemed to come up.
It all failed. Yeah, I saw a ton of failures.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah, a lot of stuff tested bad. And so what's the specific question? Why is that happening?
Well, I mean, I think it's just because, again, we're back to Cali being having stricter. But neem cake, you ever heard any negative things about neem cake?
I mean, no, I can't say I have. I mean, I actually
nobody's been testing, right? So
now, again, one of those things that nobody's been testing. Now, how does it translocate into the plant? That's what I'm curious about. If you're talking just straight neem cake and watering it in, that's interesting.
I mean,
that's the question: is if you add neem to the mixture, basically, it's
well,
not good.
Are you going to start failing tests if you're doing organic? If you're doing trying to do an organic grow for, let's say, a legal grow. I mean, not. I mean, this is just because it's going into a contest, and so they're being
right.
And they're
testing everything.
And that they fucked up. Well, I'm not saying they fucked up because they actually got 80% of their stuff last year was mold because it was such a wet year. You know, it's like we're having the
ebbs and the flows.
The ebbs and the flows of the industry, and I think that's going to be the thing about Cali, which is, as we all know, because we worked with Cali or been to Cali enough, and you can when anything here has got a certain amount of regs on it, you go there and it's like 10 times as much.
Oh yeah.
Not necessarily knowing how it is even operating at that point. Like, so how can they do this? Because they seem to have it going on, but I think it's just because NorCal growers have been using neem cake forever, and it's not like a big, so, and they're all, it's standard. I mean, but this is coming from all Chalice, which would be indoors mostly, and, light depths maybe, if you're lucky right now.
Right, yeah, but that's even early for depths.
But I guess it would be, I guess it would be the same as in Azamex or Azatrol, same.
Right. I mean, Azadiractin. I mean, and I guess I can translocate across the Casparian strip, get into the roots, and get into the fruits. I mean, if that's the issue. That
makes sense almost.
Right. And I mean, and that's, what I always look at is like, well, how does it, because there's a very specific process getting in.
It's weird because I personally, I just kind of stepped away from neem a long time ago just because of don't really like. Well, mostly because of extracts. You know what I mean? Because it gets into anything. It's kind of like yeah. And even before that, it was with water hash. I didn't want to have neem in anything when I had water because it was just like if I saw any like kind of film on the top or something, I'd be like, "Ooh,
damn it!"
You know, somebody's been using neem. And they told me, and that's the first question I'd ask: "Did you guys use neem on this?" They'd be like, "Oh yeah, but just in the beginning." You know, it's always like, "Yeah, all right, really the beginning?" Like, yeah, you know. And then later you just be like, you just see it float up, and you'd be like, "Oh, that sucks."
Son of a bitch.
And it's like it's a situation of that it just gets into everything. Like it does not leave. There's no victims behind, you know what I mean? Like
it just reeks.
It's
nasty, dude.
I couldn't take the smell after a while. I was like, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because I don't use it and I don't miss it now. At first, when I used it, I was like, oh, this is like addictive because of the fact that it was like shining your boots or something. You know what I mean? You go in your room, whoo, and you come back an hour later, they'd all look shiny. But then I noticed that it wouldn't last as very long, and then you just have to reapply. And if you start doing that, it's like it's kind of like this. It is a little bit like shining boots if I think about it, because back in the day when I was in Civil Air Patrol and I had to shine my boots, to do it the real way was a lot of work. And I was totally lazy, and I would go and get those fucking like roll on like fucking whoops, and I just like and I'd do that, and then I'd let it dry, and it'd be like I'd walk in, and they'd be like, "Damn, Dunn, your boots look shiny," and I'd be like, "Yeah, damn, Dunn," and everyone else is all. But then the problem is that if you didn't fucking reapply that stuff, it would all crack and look terrible. So like you'd be like a bad prom date or something like that. At the end of the night, you'd be like, "Oh, I gotta go, sir. My boots are falling apart." And I'd get home and I'd have to wash that bitch off and then start again.
Roll that on again.
Yeah, so it was kind of like you fucked up because it was almost like working with fully synthetic shit,
right?
And having bugs.
It's like candy bars,
and then you're spraying something else to counter the bugs because the plants don't have. You know, it's the same thing. Shining boots, same deal.
Yep.
Same thing. Yeah, it's quite the analogy.
I'm a fucking
Civil Air Patrol. I wouldn't have.
No, you wouldn't have
thought that. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah, I went through my phase. I was ready to be the. It's because of Red Dawn, dude. All that shit fucked us up. It fucked our whole generation. It fucked our whole generation up. It was Red Dawn and that fucking. There was a couple other movies that came out around that time that were like, oh yeah, that's the shit right there, dude. And that in Civil Air Patrol, the funny part was that I was like the cadet of the squadron. I like won all these awards and got to do more than the rest of the kids because they were like, okay, Dunn, you get to go fly fucking up in KC-135s next week. I was like, yes, all right. So get to refuel planes. I was like, fuck yeah. And then I went behind my friend's house.
I was going to say, and then cannabis came into your life.
Yeah.
Go on.
Well, I already smoked before that. I quit to go into Civil Air Patrol. That was the funny part. I was like 12, and I was like, I guess I got to quit smoking weed.
Damn it.
And then I was like, totally went to be like a dork, like, yeah, weed's bad, you know what I mean? And for a minute, like even for like a second, and I wasn't. And then it was like a year later, about a year and a half into that, when I was like 12 and a half, 13 or something like that, we're behind my friend's house and in the woods, found some plants, and then my friends were like, hey, Adam, you know what weed looks like, right? And I was like, yeah, it looks like it, right? And we like took some leaves and we like went home, put them in the fucking in a toaster and fucking smoked them, and I was like, yep, that's weed. It was like it wasn't strong, obviously, it was just leaves and stuff, but it was enough that we realized like, oh shit, we can go back out there. We ended up like garbage bag full at some point, and just that was the summer. We were like, all right, we quit fucking
everything besides
all military shit, just smoking weed now. And we all wore like our fatigues to school, like we're burnouts at that point, and tie dyes underneath, like, bro, we're fucking I'm like a fucking veteran now. Like I was like, it was pretty funny. I went through everything in a few years, like, it
was quite the wow.
Get it over with.
Yeah.
When you can just like pretend and it's like it's over. Go home and you don't have to fucking deal with all the bullshit.
Oh, shit.
You were a Cub Scout? Were you a Cub Scout?
I made it to Webelos. That's not full on Boy Scouts, I don't believe. Yeah.
Do you have to make it to Webelos?
I mean, that's as far as I made it. It was like kindergarten.
Okay. I think Webelos is like, yeah, you just are there and then you're like, all right.
You just paid to show up. I think that's all you need to be. I went to Webelos camp, and that was as far as I made it in Boy Scouts.
I was a little Cub Scout for a sec, man.
Yeah.
Did it for a
Did
few
you have
years.
Did you have the yellow handkerchief?
The whole deal, man.
Yeah,
the whole deal.
With the pin, with the thing, or the pin, and the thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
slide up and
Not
the
slider.
den mother.
I'm not going to say I did it past, like, 3rd or 4th grade or something, but I definitely did it for a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah, I did it even before that. It was in Queens, in New York. It was like the worst thing you could ever have. I was like, so we're just like in this like little thing on the side of the road. Like it was just like, yeah, it was terrible. There was no trees or nature.
It's like this here is a maple.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like I was like, I can't believe I'm like, because I used to go to my grandmother's and she lives in Rhode Island, but I was never there long enough to do that, and I went to school in New York and stuff. And so I was like, okay, so when I was there, I was in nature and cool shit, and then I go back to New York and go and get dressed up and go down to Cub Scouts. It was like weird. I was like, this is bizarre. It's like I quit.
For sure, man. Several things, like looking back, I'm just like, damn, this is some weird shit, man. I'm not into this.
But it did. I mean, there's it's funny because near my mom's farm down south, there's the biggest Boy Scout camp in North America, or something like that. It's like huge, 5,000 acres.
Damn.
And I literally, every time I drive by, it's like I feel like an old guy because I'm like, yep, at night you can hear the squeals of 1,000 kids out there being diddled by the camp master. You know what I mean? It's like, it just feels like it just has that vibe. Every time I drive by, I'm like, I wouldn't send my kid to that. That'd be weird.
Yeah, right.
I don't trust those fucks. I don't trust them.
The
I see them, they pull in. Well, they pull into town all the time. And you're always looking at that. I always look at the people who are running it. And I'm like, I don't know, man. It seems a bit weird. No. You gotta get your camping on a little bit different ways.
Yeah, no, I definitely. I'm prepared when I camp, but it's in a little bit different way than the Boy Scouts do it.
Speaking of that, you guys do any? Has Millenium been operated in any kind of bigger greenhouse facilities or any kind of larger outdoors? Is that even happening yet? Or anybody put down the?
So I actually have a couple different outdoor grows going in Maine with New Millenium, and some interestingly enough, some greenhouse and full season outdoor in Maine, and then also.
Can you say, hey, wait a minute, he's a robot.
And Oregon.
Hit him. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, Oregon and Maine. Those are the two places right now. And there may be some people in Colorado, but I don't know.
I mean, we are playing with it a little bit on a few things outdoors, but not like full program. I mean, because it seems to be a little bit cost restrictive for outdoors.
Yeah, it's mostly like that. I mean, if you're talking like large scale, true full season outdoor, I mean, you for most people, you'd want to look at it a bit different way. Your ROI is a little different in that situation.
Somebody's neighbors, or maybe my landlady.
But definitely like solid light depth greenhouses, things like that. Yeah, people are picking it up on it there, no doubt. And like, for example, somewhere like in Oregon, I mean, they have to declare what they're going to use months ahead of time, and they're even just applying for the licenses. So you better have your shit figured out. So a lot of guys that are getting hired in are kind of like, well, this is what we're using now. So you got to make a decision on it.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess if you're doing light depth, there's no real difference anyway. It's just smaller containers that actually can be fed because there's no point feeding an 800-gallon thing with a 7-part or a 6-part.
No. No, you definitely you'd want to. I mean, at that point, we'd move over into like you were saying, like the Terra Grow or something like that.
Sure.
1-part or an AB or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, and that's not really a goal of the company though to go any kind of big ag thing.
No,
stick with kind of weed growers and kind of
very much a boutique, quality based company for sure.
Any sort of movements on the East Coast? You said Maine.
Oh yeah, Maine, Rhode Island. Speaking of Rhode Island, we actually move quite a bit of product in Rhode Island, and then down in the
Are you guys going to the
Boston
show? Are you going to be at the Boston show? No, you're not going.
No, we're not going to the Boston show.
I'll be at the Boston show. So anybody else?
Did you hear GrowX not going on Detroit? Did you hear that?
No. Detroit canceled.
Detroit is canceled. Anybody who's in San Jose knows why.
Huh? What? Just no.
There wasn't anybody fucking there.
It was horrible, man.
It was the worst show I've ever been to.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's again one of those things with as we all know because we go, and you can tell within usually the first 10 minutes like whether it's going to be a success or not.
Oh yeah. 30 minutes before it opens up, you can tell.
Yeah, and if the hype is there, and I think that what they lack most of the people that do stuff is the idea that it's not as interesting as it was 5 years ago. You don't just automatically get a sort of golden ticket because you're cannabis like related. Right. Because it used to be like all you had to do is be in town, And all the cab drivers would be like, "Did you hear about the weed thing?" You know, it's like this is like the big deal to them. And then when I was in Vegas, a couple shows that I went to that were, didn't really go off so well. And then I talked to the cab driver, like, "Oh, that's funny. Didn't even hear about it this time." It's like kind of like it's getting faded to the point where there's enough.
It's not as new and
as a weed thing,
shiny
another
and
weed thing, and it's like, and the problem is you have to stand out. The business one in that they do in the Vegas one every year.
At the Rio.
The one got bigger and bigger, and it was like. It was pretty interesting because, like, I always use him as my Gabby from Garden Spout.
Oh yes,
Santa
I definitely
Rosa.
know Gabby. Yeah.
So
Southern Oregon
he's like,
in the Northern California. Yeah.
So he's like my litmus test of if successful show or not. Because if he's happy, it's a great show because he's always like the kind of guy who's hardest to please. He's one of those guys just hard to please.
Yeah.
Great guy, but definitely hard to industry person.
Gabby's been in forever.
Always looking
one of the first stores in Humboldt, I believe.
Yeah, so always looking for the new product to rep or whatever. And he actually gave me a really good story, which is one of those ones where I repeat it as many times as I can, just to kind of like flame the guys from the company, because if you're gonna rip somebody off, expect people to
talk shit. It's your fault now.
Which is that Centurion Pro, those guys, because the actual Centurion Pro is a real thing, and it came from Canada, and a guy from Canada had the product already made, everything was there, he was doing it, he didn't protect himself trademark wise, and this other guy came from the States, stole the name, the concept, the actual design, the logo.
Wow.
Damn.
Everything.
Can't
everything
steal
about
much
it.
more than that.
Everything about
Right.
it. And basically told him to go fuck himself type thing. And then went to the Cups. And I saw him at the Cup, and I was like, hey. And I called Gabby, because Gabby was the distributor for Centurion Pro. And the whole thing was, I was selling units through Gabby, like, for my friends. Like, I had a guy in Rhode Island who wanted one. So I'm like, Gabby, hook him up. You know what I mean? So boom.
Right.
So I sold about 8 or 9 units around the States. And so I'm at the show, and I'm thinking, hey, I'll go meet the guy. And I go to the guy, and I go, like, yeah, I've sold about 8 or 9 of your units. And he's like, oh, yeah, where? And I'm like, oh, I did it through Gabby. And he kind of gave me, like, a blank stare, you know what I mean? So I was like, called up Gabby, like, what the fuck's going on? He goes, oh, those are the fake Centurion Pros. And I'm like, what? The fake Centurion? He's like, yeah, there's a whole, and he told me the whole story, and I was like, that is nuts, because that just shows you how low people get, And it was like a Canadian guy who actually.
Damn.
Like, wait, what?
And then the crazy part about it was that, okay, so Twister, of course, everybody's familiar with, but they actually stole the design from the same Centurion guy first, right? So they were the first guys to steal it, and what they did was they stole the design and they made it cheaper, yeah. Mm-hmm. So he was selling his for $20,000, and they came in at the market at like $14,000 or something like that, right?
There you go.
Then, for $6,000 less, you can get looks like the same unit, mostly the same. A little few things were like less designed. He had actually designed it a little smarter. Then so he came out with Centurion Pro. That was the first with Centurion. Then he came out with Centurion Pro, which is smaller, cheaper, and quieter, and had all these other features. So he kind of backed it up. Boom. Now it went down to that. Then they came out with theirs and went cheaper. And then in the same moment, these other guys came and snaked everything from him. So he got kind of double whacked. And then he's out of the game.
The old double whammy.
Yeah, he got double whammied. Then you look at Twister, and they've got the new or whatever.
It's supposed to be pretty tight, that new one, man.
The T3. Or is it T4 now? What is it? Where are we at?
The new one's the 6?
T7, T6.
Jesus
T7.
Yeah.
What is it, iPhone now? They're trying to
What is this?
T6.
T6.
Pretty sure 6 is right.
Okay, so, I mean, the thing is, and
I missed a few.
Well, and how much those units cost, and how many they've sold, and,
No, the T6 isn't as expensive. It's a smaller one. That's for the in-home user, under 20 lights. Yeah.
How much is it?
I think it goes around 22, I think is what she said.
22 what?
22 large? We're looking at 22 racks?
100.
2200?
Oh, 2200. Okay, all right.
Not 22 racks. That'd be ridiculous.
It's like, Jesus Christ.
2200
we're
is
supposed to be going down, not up.
But at the end of the day, I don't give a shit. It all sucks. Because, I mean, you can't make good hash out of it. I don't trust anybody. Even though they put it in slow and like that Green Brothers, I gave them a chance. I gave everybody a chance. I've tried them. Like,
sure.
Okay, let me try.
Sure.
And I'm like, I can't believe I just did that. Like,
I just butchered.
Yeah, it just. I have to go back.
Cannabis.
I have to go back and clean it up anyway.
Right.
Oh, we're gonna smoke some gold, bro.
We're smoking gold.
Smoking gold.
Miley Cyrus approved, bro.
Well, hey,
this is before she quit smoking weed. Now she's totally lame and doesn't even smoke weed. But
It's all blow now, man.
oh man. So
Well, the concepts on these are kind of cool.
So yeah, trimmer wise, I pretty much boo everything, but at the same time, I understand how industry works and the fact that people are going to use them anyway. So I would say,
Yeah, is there one that you were like,
I mean, no, I mean,
I can't say one.
no,
I don't know one.
No, but I can understand if you're going to sell it all wholesale and you're going to get like $1,100 a pound, and you can't afford to pay somebody to trim it because that just would be like, it'd be already $100 and something bucks right out of the gate. You know, no matter how little you want to pay them, the less you pay them, the worse they trim.
Yeah.
You know, there's just never, it's never,
the slower they go.
it's a no-win situation. There's, like,
Or the steel.
there's no way you're going to get them to trim it really good, not pay them a lot of money, and get a good price. You know, all those things don't happen. So you're going to get a shitty price anyway. People are getting, like, the other day, another friend of mine was, who makes hash here locally, who's like, you know, receiving product, went down to the place to see what they were doing because they were getting this shit and be like, it's terrible. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
And they go down there and they're literally, it's a greenhouse that's not even taking fan leaves off. They're just running it through with like.
Are you fucking?
They're not even dealing. They said it takes too much time.
Not
to
even
leaf.
big leafing.
No. Running it through, and then they were wondering because they wanted to get all the weight. You know what I mean? We're gonna get all this weight. It's like, so you got like hundreds of pounds of fucking fan leaves that are shredded up inside of there that just ruins the product. So he obviously refused. He obviously refused it,
Right.
and they couldn't understand why. And he was just like, "Dude, you can't do that." And then showed them, because the other problem too is that there's so much de-waxing involved. Then if you're going to make oil, that by taking out X amount of fan leaves, you have to like de-wax that much less. You know what I mean? Right. So there's like all these other like bonus reasons why you definitely don't want to do that.
Yeah, but that shit's compost. I mean, come on.
Well, at the end of the day, like the difference between good quality weed and bad quality weed, a lot of times, is the handling.
Is the processing is the end.
It's that totally can fuck it up. You know, because again, like, you know, what I also noticed with this other place that I was checking out the other day was that they were running their dry rooms were pretty warm. You know what I mean? Like their dry room was about like felt warm when you opened the
no.
And I'm like, what's going on here? I'm like, you don't want it warm. So you know, I'll go through all that process and make it all good and then put it through a warm room to
Just
dry.
torch it.
It's like, no, it's not.
Turn it to hay.
I was going to say, dries about 4 days too fast.
Yeah.
It traps a bunch of chlorophyll and cellulose in there, and just that's how you turn good weed into bamboo-ass shit.
Yeah, because I was like, you know, normally I keep my rooms around 65 or so, or 60 to 65, and to kind of like slow that shit down as much as possible. And when you actually feel warmth, it's already got to be too much. You know what I mean?
For sure, dude.
Even if you're in an air conditioner, what happened? It fell apart?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gold's not known for its
stickiness.
Yeah, it's, you know.
Yeah, 24 karat gold.
Wedding agent. Gold wedding agent is what we need now.
Right.
24 karat gold wedding agent. You can harvest it at the end. You just come back and recycle it all, sell it. Be like, well, the crop sucked, but I got a lot of money at the metal scrapyard for my soil.
Yeah, no, I don't know why so many people put all the time and effort into it and then just throw it through a trim machine or just let it turn into shit.
And just like we're saying, I mean, commercial is commercial, boutique is boutique, man. I mean, I'm not.
And even going back to your question, I mean, really, our focus is high quality boutique. It's not trying to get in the biggest gardens in America. There's plenty of other people for that. There's no doubt about it, and we believe that there's, slices of the pie, and we'll go for what ours are,
Yeah, and was Terrapin still using that stuff or no?
For sure, man.
Yeah. We have a number
of a couple decent sized gardens.
Yeah, we have a number of decent sized indoor gardens. Just as far as somebody going, true outdoor with it. I mean, let's, why?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't expect. I mean, the whole point of outdoors is having good soil to begin with, and then really thinking about
absolutely
what you're going to add to it.
Yeah, soil biology. I mean, it's much more about that.
Just a little bit of guano, a little bit of kelp, and you're good. And pretty much, if everything else is in check, you shouldn't need much more. You might need a few of the little boosts here and there, but for the most part, you should be able to get with. What happened here? We got lost. That's a lot of gold, bro.
Wasting gold, man.
Wasting gold. That's You saw like the Japanese would drink gold and have all sorts of they loved it. Like they thought it was
really.
Nice. Yeah, that was a trendy thing there for a while.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
gold.
Very good for you.
Yeah.
Very good for you.
They would just straight up drink it for real.
Oh yeah. Trendy. It was more decadence than anything, just like this. I mean, this actually has some science behind it. If you think like, okay, I can't imagine there's no paper though. How do they?
That's the whole claim.
That's their claim.
Yeah, that's the thing is obviously the metal won't burn and just the.
And you can
just
see it. Look
flower
on the
torches.
ash there, Adam. You can see like the gold, like on the ash. It's kind of wild. I mean, the
It's
science
kinda
behind it's
crazy,
interesting.
sure.
I say that. Am I going to be rolling gold doobies every day?
Keeping that one's
No.
badass. Like.
Oh yeah.
It's like a space doobie, basically. Space.
Yeah, it's
doobie.
It's it's a novelty thing, for sure. I mean, again, it's horribly overpriced.
It was $4 a sheet, basically.
It's going to be significantly more than
I
that.
think it's more than that.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really?
It's like $20 or $30 a pack for 2 of them or something stupid.
That pack I think is like $25. Yeah, I got a very good shop of ours over in Michigan, Premier Hydro. Definitely shout out to them.
Shout out to Premier.
They kicked me a pack of them and said check them out. So I did, and I was pleased.
Yeah, no, they're definitely. I mean, it's interesting. It's cool, and I like the science.
So since we're doing shout-outs, a big shout-out to Ohio Bob for getting me this piece via Soapman, which is pretty dope. It was for my birthday, and Soapman gave it to me, and it was funny because when he pulled it out, I was all looking at it, and he go, and before I could say anything, he's like, "Yeah, he studied in Egypt." I'm like, no fucking kidding. I was like, I wouldn't imagine.
You don't say.
I can't imagine that he studied. No, but he studied actually in Egypt, perfume bottles. So that's
Cool.
pretty cool. And he lives in
That's
Ohio.
tight.
His name's Ohio Bob, and it's Ohio Bob on Facebook. There you go. That's
Ohio Bob. That's easy enough.
easy enough. And this one's kind of got some slime, it looks like, in there a little bit, and it's a little bit of texture, which is kind of dope. So you don't get some grip.
A little
Gives
grip.
a good hit, and the thing I like about it is you can actually see what the fuck's going on. That's
You're far enough away from it. Yeah.
you're far enough away, and actually, it's like I like
can see it.
what even back in the day. My whole thing was whenever I had a bong, if I couldn't see the bowl, it pissed me off. Like I'd be like, "What the?"
I don't know what's going on.
And now with the dabs, it's even worse because you got some pieces where you're literally kind of reverse trying to drop it into something, and
You, like,
you
move it
can do it
around.
yourself because you do it all the time. And every time you hand it to somebody, they just stab himself in the face. Yeah, you're liable now. Why do you have to get stabbed in the face? What happened over there? Not exploded. It looks like
Yeah, it's.
it went through some major.
Yeah,
things.
It's run its course for sure, but it was a good
It was
joint.
great while it lasted. So speaking of 5.8,
Yes.
you guys are repping about 5 companies or something like that, or 4 companies.
More, yeah. I mean, like 3 or 4. You
Three or
know?
four,
I
three or
mean,
four.
the main ones we've got a couple of little side things. Some of them, like we have silicium, which is a fantastic silicic acid, but it's not registered everywhere like some of our other stuff is. So that's mainly a Colorado product for
Gotcha.
us. New Millenium nutrients, of course, which we're here talking about, Plague nutrients, and Papillon lighting.
Great. So and the Papillons, I finally got a chance to work with some of them, so that's good to.
Excellent.
Great lights.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting because every time I go to a facility, I can see potential sales of those particular lights just because I know that everybody, the main thing is getting a computer for them. If you don't have a computer for them, they're not going to do it because that's all they talk about.
That's what people want.
They all want to hear about the computer that you're going to tell them is way better and more robust.
And why is it better?
And yeah, well, apparently it sounds like whatever's in the works sounds
No,
better.
it is. What we've got coming is definitely. I mean, and these guys are the real deal. I mean,
Yeah.
again, you would know a lot of the players that are involved in it because they are the original people that were developing lighting in Holland in glass houses. So it's
Well,
it's
yeah,
real deal.
you can tell because the name is terrible. That's how you know they're old school.
So
Once
you know
get
they're
a-
real.
Yeah, once you get a name that really is like, really E. Papillon, like that is not a name of.
Hard to spell, hard
that-
to say.
It's hard to
E.
understand.
Papillon.
E. Papillon. Yeah, it just doesn't really. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah. So it's
Anyway.
got to be good.
So it's gotta be
so
good.
bad. It's got to be good.
Yeah,
is the
you
point,
couldn't
right?
survive if you had a name
They
like
do
that.
make good lights.
Yes.
They do make good lights.
Yeah, well, even Pote Lamp was like, I used to go like, because I'm back in Holland, I used to call them the pooters. Oh, they get those fucking pooter lights in there. Pooters, poot light, and they'd be like, it's poot.
It's poot,
Poot.
please.
Oh.
Right.
I just call it poot. So it was like, but you see them now with repping at shows, and when I go by the booth, I can't help but see how, like, in a way, people come in, they don't, like, they're now having to compete just on price. That's all their deal is. Like, this is price. And, I mean, they're still decent lights, but I don't think they can handle the kind of like use that we're using them. You know what I mean? Because they've always been in greenhouses, which guys are like barely pushing things. You know what I mean? They don't have near the numbers and whatever. So it's like it's kind of rough one when you. Because I always overhear conversations. Of course, I'm listening, and I heard guys with 65% failure rate. You know what I mean?
Whoa.
On some shit coming out. No, not necessarily saying it's pot lamp, but could have been their bulbs, could have been their things, whatever it was.
It was something.
It was something. You know what I mean? And they were like, yeah, that could happen. You know what I mean? And it's like should never happen. Like, you know. And I think that's a lot to do with them not being able to keep up. And replacing parts with bullshit, you know what I mean? Cause
for sure, man. Like you're saying, the Papillon's a commercial light. It has Gore-Tex seals on it.
Yeah.
All Philips technology. There's no bullshit in it, man. They're a commercially driven light. It's not made as a hobby unit.
Yeah, and then that's where, when you see like miles of greenhouses and you go like, oh wow, that's fucking like. Of course, right away we're all, imagine it was all weed. We're like, you can't because it's too much fucking work, and you need a tenth of what they can do. But because their turnovers every 14 days, and they can automate everything, and it's not a problem. It's not a long cycle.
Right.
So there's reasons not, but at the same time, it's getting to the level where we're getting some acreage and serious sized.
Oh, there's some serious farms, some serious greenhouses out there these days. No
sure.
doubt. Yeah.
I mean, our buddy Short down in Arizona with he gets quoted all the time. Just because people are like literally locals there are scared of their facility where they're telling everybody not to buy from them and stuff. Don't buy from that facility because they're so big, they're going to take over. And it's just like, you just take over if your weed's good. That's the only
right.
it's the only
if
way.
it's good, they will come.
Yeah. But people do get scared when they see large scale grows that are in the acres.
Right. Well, I want to say the largest, at least legal or semi-legal outdoor grow in the country last year was in Pueblo County.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
This is under glass, so this is even more impressive when you're like, ooh, acres.
Oh,
under
absolutely.
Glass. No, they definitely had some. What was it, like a 30,000 plant thing or something like that?
Yeah, 30,000 plants.
Yeah.
There's.
That's a lot.
But that was a CBD farm too.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're not talking high quality flower.
And that's again where you're kind of like, okay, if there's guys growing 30,000 outdoor plants, and where's the bottom of it? How's that market gonna pan out in the long run?
Right. Where does it go from here?
Especially because of the fact that when you're working with isolate and distillates and things like that, it starts to get sort of science fiction at that point, because now we're moving crystals and things. They're like,
it gets very
and those are things that can be manipulated even further. And I heard some interesting stuff recently where I was just like, really? Okay, this is the future. There's going to be no need. I mean, not to say there's no need for plants, but if you only want THC and CBD, can be totally done.
Yeah, that can be done.
That can be like they have this seeding process where they take 1 gram and break it down and grows more crystals because crystals grow crystals and
no way
turn that into 900 grams. It's like, oh, okay. Interesting. So
that's crazy, man.
So the future is weird, When it comes to cannabis and hash and things like that, it's going to get. It's all going to be the terpenes you can't do this with, of course, and that's where the plant needs to produce all those. But when it comes to THC crystals and
that's crazy,
and
that's wild shit.
So that's stuff where I'm hoping to get. I'm hoping my friend can actually crack the code on this one because he's been told this, by somebody, which was kind of like, okay, I like it. You know what I mean?
Go on.
Yeah, tell me more. And we were talking about it the other day, and I looked into it, and it was like, okay, this is definitely a thing that happens in the industries. They're not, any angle to not have to work with plants. That's the way they're going to want to do it, right?
Sure.
Right.
But the cool part with the plants, you notice you hear the 5.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
You hear I was like
5 o'clock.
What the hell is going on around here? Hopefully, it starts to rumble around 5 because of next door's happy hour that they do.
Ba-boom.
Ba-boom. Yeah, exactly. You guys, besides rosin pressing, you guys into any other extraction?
Well, I mean, I definitely like some great old school, just straight water hash. And again,
yes, sir, that's the way to go.
And I got a good friend of mine, the hash doctor up there, that does a really just fucking great job.
it's the whole thing about it is if you set up your place really clean, right, nice and clean work zone, and you have a flow that actually makes sense, and you have ice on hand, and a big old lots of freezer space, and you're not all hampered by trying to like go out and get ice, and that's where it all goes wrong. Like once you like run out of what you need, and like you're sending people out, and your timing is off, and the whole key is just moving so fast, not really so fast, but moving quick enough that you're annoying is basically the key. Like as long as you're an annoying person, like get out of my way, like you're in a restaurant or something. Get the fuck out of my way. Stressed out.
Behind.
If you're like that, you're probably a good hash maker, because that's usually the kind of guy who actually gets the shit done. Whereas if you're like the opposite, where you're just like, whatever, bro, just put it over there. Just put it over there. And,
hash is an artist.
Because everything moves. Well, the whole thing is it's less art and more neurotic fucking like timing person. That's what you really got, because the whole thing is if you're not on it, your shit kind of it'll separate real nice, and then like it'll separate real good, but then it's like it'll go right back to where it was, and it's like if you miss that window, you'll never get it back again. It's like, it's going back to itself.
Totally. No, and we've always really focused on short washes. A lot of people in conventional always seem to be back in the day was like do this, big long wash. But what happens to the end of that, like the last little bit that you really don't want? That's what goes in and fucks up everything. So we really focus on short washes, and then you're always really checking the quality of every wash. You know what I mean? And that last one, it don't go in the fucking batch. It hits the fucking deck.
Like you're saying, you can't get greedy, man. You just have to toss the stuff that's not the cream.
You got to toss, I mean, you only got to take the cream. And if you do that, I mean, this whole bubble hash thing, boy, that got bastardized quick, right? There's a few things that people can really make to high quality bubble and even dabbable water hash, but it ain't easy. And like you said, you got to have the right flow, and even a good friend of mine that I work with, he definitely learned a lot and has melded some techniques off of Frenchie, some of his stuff and the way that he does, which is actually a little bit, it's not no ice but less ice and short washes and heat presses and some of that treatments afterwards, and man, it's something to be said. I mean, it's old and new world kind of smashed together, but
Frenchie's machine's pretty dope. And the thing I've been surprised is that it never even, like, people didn't go in that channel before where it's like refrigerated containers, controllable temperature. I mean, that seems to be the most obvious. There's no reason to have ice, you know what I mean? Because the problem with ice is that it's one variable. Temperature, and it kind of goes down. It goes up for a second. Now it's perfect. It goes down. You're always on the flow. Whereas if you just had it where you dialed it in, it'd be like, all right, we're there, just below, just above freezing, so it can move still, but it's right there, and everybody's happy. You know what I mean? Compared to, like, just nobody really thought that way. Everybody was just kind of like focused on the reconverting washing machines, which isn't really
it's not really the way to go.
Best flow anyway.
Well, and what's interesting too is everybody just acted like for so long that it was so easy, and that was the advantage of it. I'm like, fuck, it's same thing. It's like you can grow a plant. I can get you a little brick of quote unquote hash. Okay, I'm not going to smoke for shit. It's not going to taste for shit. It's going to be just a little brick of nothing very pleasant.
Yeah, good hash is hard to find on that level, man. Good hash, like good bubble. You know what I mean? It's hard to find.
Well, and the hardest part is storage, and it goes off real fast. It kind of gets we used to say it gets like a wang to it, you know what I mean? After like a little bit, like at first it's like perfect, and then literally day to the next, you know what I mean? Like your friend comes over and you want to show it to him, and then it feels a little weird, and then it just doesn't taste the same, and it doesn't. And the problem is too, a lot of people don't dry it properly. It'll bubble, but it's not necessarily
right
steaming bubble. You know what I mean?
It's not the right bubble.
You want the bubble that it's actually dry enough that it's the oil that, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like people get it's like how good weed straight off the plant, where if you had it for like, it's been drying just enough, it burns barely, tastes awesome. That same weed the next day got nothing left, you know. And you're like, it's just because it was that magic moment where all the terps were in there.
Yeah, it was all there. Nothing had volatilized.
And then it was gone. You're like, so it's like it's kind of a reason why I feel like now live resin is kind of the future for flavor, for like what people are going to want.
Capturing exactly what we're talking about in that moment in time and just saying, boom.
And so I think if you're going to build any kind of facility or if you're going to get into the game, you pretty much go for a place that has a shitload of refrigerators already. Like, hey, you know what? There's this ice cream shop that's just going out of business down the road.
I'll take it.
You know, it's like something along those lines, because it's more your freezer space is going to dictate your quality and your quantity or whatever at that point, because it's pretty much no reason to dry wheat unless you're going to be making seeds or doing something else. There's no reason to dry it, to break it up, to make it more
to make it look smokable,
chlorophyll-y and broken down. And you know, so the idea is to capture it at the best moment. And if it's all tight buds, it's also not the greatest, because now it's all inside and you haven't quite broken it up.
Right.
But if you break it up too, you know, there's like this sweet spot for everything.
Yep. No doubt.
And when you do live, it's kind of like you avoid all those sweet spots and you just boom, bam, do it proper.
Yep. No, we've been real big fans of the rosin. I do love the hash artisans that are out there that are really still keeping that tradition alive. But I do love the profiles, the immediacy of rosin, and then just the ability to just be like, boom, I've got some fire flower and I want to smoke some fire rosin right now.
Yeah, no, and that is for personal. I see like it should be like everybody should just have one in their garage type deal. And
right.
They can kind of
just like a vice press. Everybody should have a rosin press.
Yeah, and it's immediate, and you don't have to think about the whole curing process and all that. Having said that, though, there is on a health factor, not totally convinced. I'm like kind of feel like some rosin seems very lipid heavy, and
sure,
there's like I feel like I'm kind of glad I missed the whole like I gotta smoke it all day, every day. Oh shit, you mean it's got a lot of? Oh, well maybe I shouldn't be like, because I felt like it didn't say to me or like the same as water hash. Water hash, you know, and it is funny how back in the day everything it was like. A flame was not a problem. People understood you needed that flame to make it work, because it didn't taste the same. Like right now, if you take good bubble hash, throw it on a fucking nail, it tastes like shit. You know, like the same stuff. If you smoked it in a bowl, you'd be like, oh yeah, you can taste it. It's like, what the fuck's going on here? Like it's like the opposite of what you'd expect. But there's very rarely do you find bubble that tastes a couple times you'll get certain one it kind of does it the right way, but for the most part it's like that actually needs a flame to get the flavor, which is strange, but you know, so it doesn't really
true. Yep.
And so kind of that's why bubble's not as popular I think right now, because most people don't even have a fucking water pipe left anymore because they only smoke out of their rigs. So
dabs.
It's just like, oh well, if you can't smoke it in a dab, I can't smoke it, you know what I mean? It's like, oh shit. But some stuff just doesn't taste good. It's like weird.
Yeah, I know. And I'm just still a fan of good, good old school flower. Just rolling up a nice joint and smoking flower. So
flower, yeah, for me, flower, but also a good bubble if people appreciate it is awesome too.
Oh, it's amazing. It's just hard to find. It's hard to get, and hard to even have people to. It's a lot of work. That's what it is. That's all it is, really. It's a shitload of work.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing that I was saying earlier. Is like you always get the one guy. It's like, you are perfect because you're not going to get stuck on, because I had this one guy who used to work for me, and it was funny because he would be like, didn't matter what he was doing, if a certain TV show was on, he'd have to go to watch, either watch it or record it. And I was like, we're in the middle of a project, I'd be like, he was from Oklahoma, so it made it even worse. And he was like, he'd go like, it was even the shows made it even worse because he was into like Dawson's Creek, right? This is an adult male. This is an adult man, right? He's like, I gotta go. Dawson's Creek's coming on. I gotta record it. And I was like, this is one day when we were moving. I was in the middle of moving. I had like all this shit on a big giant weight. I was like hanging on to it, and he was the biggest guy in the thing. So he was like, I gotta go. I gotta go. I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now? It's like, yeah. So.
Wow. Well, and again, even going, it's an attention to detail. The guy that I know that does it their best, he's literally graduated from the Culinary Institute of America. He's an excellent chef. He really it's process. He really understands process, and I think and in fact for that matter, a lot of the great breeders out there are former chefs and understanding process like that. Good hash makers, good breeders. It's interesting. A lot of them have come out of that world, and it's like it's that patience of knowing that what I'm doing right now isn't going to be exactly what's in the next step, and are saying there's got to be a process of steps to get to the end point, and not worrying too much about being in the middle of it and not looking exactly like what you thought it would be.
Well, yeah, and as far as the chef analogy and stuff, I mean, that's where, you didn't really, like, you don't want to go in the kitchen sometimes. Like, you're
Right.
like, you know what?
Just stay the fuck out of the way.
Just give me the food, and like, looks so good, but you don't,
Right.
Same with real grows, like at the end of the day, like you'll see the ones that are all surgical and look great can't produce one tasty thing sometimes, and then you go to the one where it's a little sloppy, or but the guy
Right next to the chicken coop.
but the guy knows what's up, and
It's
it's banging
dank.
it out, and it's like, oh my god. And that's like, that's how, I mean, that's the only part that I think right now with even go back to the whole new millennium, since you're on the show, right? That's my only thing about it. Like, I wish there was a 100% organic version that would run parallel with it, that I could like kind of like how the dipshits do with theirs. But you think, as far as like, yeah, okay, I don't know, I still can't use it. I don't care if it's organic. I'm not using it. You know what I mean? But that's something I would hope that I don't know if you can, because maybe some of the products just don't work. I mean,
The organic Millennium. I mean, who knows, man?
Yeah,
it would be just a great, like, since you are for more boutique-y
right.
and smaller yet higher quality grows and
Right.
stuff like that, it would be, if it's 30% more expensive, okay, whatever. Just
But
it
if
has
you can
to be,
market, but if you can market it properly, I mean, yeah.
yeah, it would be nice. I mean, I just feel like, because that's the number one question I get, because people expect it because of the show. They're like, so it's organic, right? And I'm like,
Well, I mean,
it's
not
got
really.
organic elements. It's partly organic.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of
from
great
the-
organics in there, but
And
is
of
it
course-
organic? No.
Right, and of course, depending on who you're talking to, there's, I'm sure, you could probably put it on paper and make it sound much more organic than it even like
Sure.
is, in a sense, by just breaking everything down. Where, I mean, how many? Because it seems like there's always like certain things you can't pass without it having that boost. You know what I mean? The synthetic boost to kind of make it work.
Sure.
And then you got the other products, which doesn't matter all the way down the line. Even like Playground is like that, where you feel like at first it's going to be like real chemi because of just the colors of the packaging
Right.
and stuff, like just the way that it's presented, and then you start looking into it and you're like, oh, this fucking help. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
it's actually pretty damn
Yeah.
good, as far
Yeah.
as the basics of the nutrients and stuff. It's not just like, oh, A, B, simple, salty, super, mag one,
Right.
one side mag, and the other side all your others, and like, obviously the same formula as the other ones, and surprisingly, I wouldn't say gentle, but pretty non-aggressive.
Yeah, no, it's smooth. It's smooth. Yeah,
It's clean for sure, man.
Yeah, very
It's
clean.
It's very clean for as synthetic as it is, as we're saying,
Well, and again, there's always what's listed on the bottle and what's registered, and then there's some other fun things that are typically thrown in there as well. I mean, a lot of these guys are also trying to protect their recipes based on different chelates that they put in there. So, if you were to try and look into them, you might think it's one thing when in fact it's something totally different. It's really the creating the mode of action and creating the pop, the oomph,
Right.
So the nutrient world's crazy, like you say. It's like I went in one day and a guy says I need a new nutrient, like I need a hole in the head, and I told him that's great because I got two for you. So it's tough out there sometimes.
Well, and people don't realize, well, especially when they do realize their bottom line, because that's the guy's paying the bills, of
Sure.
course. And it's hard to get people to switch on anything just because if they feel like it's working, why fix it?
And we get that.
But if you but if you can get people to even see like a 10% increase in their like quantity, let's say, it was one of the things, but if you can get the guy who's growing it and or processing it to understand the quality, then
Sure.
I mean, it all just kind of trickles down real quickly.
Definitely.
Like, and that's the thing, is if you can produce all you want, the stuff that looks great, or or has the bag appeal,
The marketability,
it used to be, and now of course for the wholesale market, I mean, bottoming out the way it is, there's almost no reason to grow good quality weed, because you're like, so I'm getting like 11 to 1300.
Or I can make 100.
Yeah, what's the difference? Yeah, like it's a $200 difference right there, and there's a couple guys out there that are actually smart, that are actually, I wouldn't say, I don't know about smart, but they're actually got a way to bring up the people, and that's like because everybody's so fixated on like THC quantities and stuff like that. There's like one guy out there who's buying a wholesale who still pays like $2,800 if your stuff is over 30%. You know what I mean? And people are dying, like, trying, like, and of course it has to be from the same lab and all the stuff.
Right.
But then it won't pay, but it'll still pay $1,300 if it's 29 or 28 or, you know what I mean? So it's one of those, like, there's no sliding scale. It's just above this point, and I'll pay you literally almost, you know, double at that point. You know, more than double. So it's like, it's kind of weird. But anyway, that's how people are, and I think it should just be based on weeks, and people should start growing 12 and 14 and 16 weekers again, and then get paid more money for it, and have less plants, and not be stuck in it, because it'd be like, well, I paid 14 weeks rent, 14 weeks of power, 14 weeks of this, 14 weeks of that.
Not a bad idea.
No, it's not. I used to feel the same way when I was on the farm. I had 180-day celery. Still got $2.
Right.
Still got fucking $2.
Right. So I mean, I feel like I
should have been the most expensive shit on the farm. It was on there the longest.
Right. Well, that's what I feel like with cannabis is pretty obvious, because people are on the turnover. So if you say, hey, I'm going to take this room and I'm going to produce X amount more than I normally would because of these long flowering plants, but you're going to lose, you know, almost go double on you're going to go 1 3/4 cycle on a cycle. So you have to see, you won't be double, but you'll be more, but you can charge. But if you could charge more, people would do it. But now, because nobody will charge more, they're kind of stuck on this whole, like,
which does suck, which just means it's all 8 weekers, all 8 weekers, all 8 weekers. I mean, you talk to any of the commercial guys, it's like, it doesn't fit in our garden. It's not 8 weeks.
Right, which is sad.
Or they're gonna make it an 8 weeker.
Or they're gonna make it an 8 weeker. Yeah, that's
well, and that's where concentrates actually obviously come into the play, where people don't mind harvesting a week early or 2 weeks early, because they're like, oh well, you know, their yield is less than 5% difference, and it's brighter, you know, because it's not as much amber in there. So the tricks of the game.
Oh yes,
and that's the problem.
As we lament.
Well, we already knew that would happen. Like, anytime I hear of a corner being able to be cut, it's like that is going to be the norm. You know what I mean? As far as like, well, if you can do it a week early, of course, boom, week early, you
done.
Know? And so you hardly ever see anything to fruition anymore when it comes to concentrates. Just like, unless it's just a fucked up crop, you know what I mean? Where they're like, send it to the concentrate.
Send it to the concentrate. It's true. It's true.
So we are at like 5:30, which is kind of, you know, normally we never know. If we have like a plethora of people, we go 3 hours, but I think we covered most of our bases.
It's been good.
This week.
I think it's been a great show.
If you guys got like, this is a big shout out moment. So give out, go for your new Millenium shout outs, and except for Bo.
No shouts to Bo.
No, we'll do him last. We'll do him last.
You know, again, we're here representing New Millenium Nutrients. We appreciate all the guys that are out there across the country that's supporting us. Anybody that's interested, definitely get a hold of us. We'd love to work with you. We'd love to put some samples in people's hands. Any of your listeners, get a hold of 5-8 Media. First 5 guys to get a hold of Sammy Boy will send you out a pep pack. How about that? And a pep pack is, what's a pep pack? It's actually, it's all 9 parts of it. It'll do about a 4x4 table for you. Retails for about $400. It's definitely not a punk-ass sample. It's nice. It's all 9 pieces and extras of awesome. The stuff that you use more of.
It's basically anybody who's listening who thought they were only getting 2 and they got that, and then they'll know what we're talking about, right?
Right.
Perfect. Those are cool. Those are good. Yeah, and I think it's also nice whenever you see somebody like with those psycho packs. I'm always like tripping out, like thinking like, are they really going to use it, or you know, do they even know? Because if they knew, like, and sometimes I'll even go up to people and go like, you can pretty much get rid of everything except that one enzyme product is really good from these guys. You might want to keep that. The rest, I don't think I just tossed the rest of the whole box. You know what I mean? I'm just like, enzyme, that's the shit.
Right.
Because every company has their thing. You know.
Every company has their thing.
And that was their thing. I don't know if there's anything else in that product line that you thought was good, but did you use any of it?
You know, back in my my Dutch master days, I was pretty familiar with all the Australian products, and Psycho and Dutch Master are very similar as far as composition and how the line works.
Right.
I haven't ran a whole.
Is that like Yellow Bottle similar, or
they're a little different, honestly. I mean, it's still an Australian product, of course, but they are, you know, Psycho and Dutch Master are very, very similar companies.
Right. They're like House and Gardens and Tommy or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
kind of like how they can run very similar lines where you're like, it's the same. This one's got bubblegum juice in it or something. Like a Tommy always had this certain background smell that they seem to have in almost all their products. That was kind of like and the Bloom Bastic and all that stuff had the same. You're like,
Right.
what is that? It's like a weird, sickly sweet kind of slightly bubblegumish.
Slightly.
Dutch Master B has the same smell.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys are masters of it.
Yeah. So it's been good. I mean, we definitely appreciate you having us out, and
For sure. And
look forward to doing it some more.
So we'll keep an eye out for those drops for you guys.
Yep.
And
And again, anybody happens to be in Portland next week, I will be bumping around, hitting some different shops. Like I said, going to be at Bloom Garden Supply, doing a little lecture talk. Yeah, it should be fun. It'll be a good week.
and it's so you guys will be doing Portland next week, and then that's Indo Expo, right? And
No. So that I'm just going around and just kind of doing my normal sales trips. Yeah.
When's the Indo thing?
It is August 5th and 6th, Saturday and Sunday.
That's
Yeah.
why I was like,
You're like, no, it can't
I
be
was
next
like, this
week.
is getting crazy because I thought I was going to be there. And
But
then
how am I
going to be
I
there?
can't be. No.
Well, cool. And anybody who's going to be in Boston for the CanadaCon, I'll be there with both seats here now and with Cloverleaf University. So I'm going to be
Right on.
split between the two booths somehow.
Boom.
And
Man of many talents.
Yeah, it should be fun though. Boston's. It's always weird to go to those places that I used to like be so paranoid to go with weed to because they were always so lame. Like compared to, like whole East Coast was
Right.
weird. Like
yeah.
like New York, I felt comfortable once I was in the city. But if I was driving around or doing anything, I was always, in elevators where I was most paranoid. I'd be like, "Fuck, I gotta go to the elevator." And I have to sit outside of my backpack and like air it out, and because I know every time I get in, I'd be like, "Yeah, that's me. I'm that guy." You know what I mean? Like,
Hey, everybody.
every time. But yeah. So if you guys are in Boston, come by, check us out, and shout out to my beautiful wife Sisu, who is on her way over here. We're gonna go and check out First Friday, first time down in Santa Fe since we had a shop, since we had a gallery there, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I guess we'll go down and take a look, but a friend of ours has a gallery opening going on, and go check out what's
Nice.
going on at Grassroots and see what's happening on the spot there. Shout out to the A Stuff at the Farm and Andy holding it down with Sonny, and shout out to all the sponsors for hanging in there with us.
Yes, sir.
Like you guys.
Yes, sir.
And we'll talk to you guys next week. I think I'm going to be on the road, so probably not a show next week because you're not going to be here either, right? So
I'll be in Vegas.
you'll be in Vegas. I'll be on the
Vegas,
road.
baby.
Yeah.
I'll take my little camera thing, and maybe I'll do a little crazy, weird on the spot, probably from Boston, at the show. So
Nice.
Never have a reception. That's a problem. I hate guaranteeing a show because when I get there, it's like I'm in the fucking gigantic trade show fucking place, and you want me to pay how much? No,
Be $500, sir.
Yeah, it's like $50 or something stupid just to be online, and it's like fuck, so I'll have to go outside somewhere and just do some war driving or something. Find somewhere.
There you
go. So yeah, next week I'll be on the road. Maybe we'll have a show, maybe not, but if not, we'll see you the week after that. And yeah, see you guys next time.
Right on. Appreciate it,
Peace.
everybody.
Much appreciated, Adam. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Practically every one of the top 40 records being played on every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip, to cop out, to groove. The psychedelic jackets on the record albums have their own hidden messages.
Special question. We don't want you to smoke genetically modified ganja. We want you to smoke the real thing. We want you to smoke the natural herb. Some call it marijuana, some call it sensibilia, some call it lamb's bread, and some people call it ganja.